Hi everyone, this is Neha Bhalla, Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant, and our today's video's topic is proof of funds. So if you have seen my last video on express entry, so that was about how to immigrate to Canada. So when you want to immigrate to Canada as a PR, so talk about express entry or talk about provincial nominee programs, PNPs, an important thing is proof of funds. So when you want to immigrate to Canada, you need to show to the Canadian authorities that you have available funds with you so that you can easily survive in Canada. So that is an important eligibility condition to immigrate to Canada. So let's talk in detail about the proof of funds in this video. So yes, welcome back. So let's begin with the topic proof of funds. So basically this video is about proof of funds for PR application only. So we're not talking about the proof of funds for your visitor application. This is only for PR application, whether it be PNP, that is the provincial nomination programs, or whether it be the express entry program. So starting with what is exactly proof of funds. So there is a LICO, that is the low income cut-off table. So basically this is an income threshold. This amount is decided by Statistics Canada and it is updated annually. So this is an amount that a new immigrant would require to have to prove to the government that he has when he comes to Canada for his basic survival. Yes, so if you see this LICO table, that is the low income cutoff table. So whatever the amount is mentioned, 50% of that amount of this LICO amount is required as a proof of fund for your PR application. So Canadian government is not going to provide you with any financial support. So that is why it wants to be assured that yes, when you are immigrating to Canada, you have these sufficient funds with you. So that might be if you don't have a job, so you can survive on your own. So this proof of funds is to show this, that you can afford a life or you can survive in Canada for initial few months. So yes, when you see this LICO table, you can see that the amount is given as per the according to the family size. So suppose that you are a family of four people, let's say. So husband, wife, and 2 kids. So suppose only the husband is immigrating to Canada right now as a PR and not his spouse and the kids, they are not immigrating to Canada at the moment. So it doesn't mean that only you'll show the proof of funds, that family, the person will show proof of fund for one applicant. No. So he has to show proof of funds for 4 members. So irrespective of whether the spouse and the dependent kids are accompanying you or not to Canada, you still need to provide proof of fund for the entire family size. And for the sake of PR application, family here means your spouse or common law partner and your dependent children under 22 years of age. So it does not include, you do not have to include your parents in counting the size of the family. So just you, your spouse, and your dependent kids who are under 22 years of age. So now let's begin with what proofs you can provide to the Canadian authorities, to the IRCC, to prove that yes, you have these available funds with you. So the safest way of all is the money which is present in your bank. So bank statements, that is the safest way to prove that yes, you have those funds available with you. But there are certain other ways also, and many of you have questions regarding few things that those are acceptable or not. So we will discuss those now. So yes, so now you can see here the proofs which are acceptable, which you should ideally show. So that is, first is the official letters from the bank or the financial institution where you are holding your money. So, and also do note that certain people, what they do is they just take out a print of the online bank statement and submit it in their PR applications. So kindly do not do this. Those online bank statements are not accepted. So your statements should be on official letters from the bank or the financial institution, and they should be on the letterhead of the bank, and they must include the contact information of the bank, their address, their telephone, their email, and the letter must include your name. It should list your outstanding debts also, like your credit cards and your loans. For the accounts, whatever accounts you are showing, you must include the account number, and also you must inform about when was this account opened, so the date of the opening of the account, the current balance of each of the accounts you are showing, and also an average balance of the past 6 months. So you can simply visit your bank, and they generally, you tell them that for immigration purposes or whatever, you can say for some purpose that you require the official bank statements on their letterhead, and these information should be included. So they generally provide it. Generally, that doesn't do an issue. So I took my when I moved to Canada as a PR, I had an account with HDFC, so I went to my nearest branch and asked them for these letters, and they were very cooperative and gave me the letters as was required. Now, the 3 important things which people generally get confused and generally come to me with the questions like whether they can show these as proof of funds or not. So first is jewelry. So you cannot show your whatever jewelry you have, you cannot show it as in your proof of funds, even though you have the bills. Even then, it's not an acceptable form of proof of funds. Second is your assets. So any of your assets, any of your properties you have, real estates also you have, these also cannot be shown as proof of funds, because proof of funds is something which should be any financial instrument that is easily liquidable. And real estates, your assets, your jewelry, as per Canadian authorities, those are not considered as liquidable. So that is why you cannot show them as proof of funds. So do remember this before submitting your proof of funds. Now, one more important thing is that as per the IRCC website, it lists that whenever you are showing your proof of funds, you should also show your debts. So you should also include your outstanding debts like your credit cards or any loans. So people generally come to me with questions like whether we should show them that we have these outstanding amount. Will that amount be deducted from our whatever amount we are showing? So will it impact our application? So suppose your bank statement shows a monthly installment towards your home loan or any other loan that you have. So you should show that debt. Otherwise, it would definitely raise a question to the visa officer, because it's showing on your bank statement and you are not declaring that debt. So then it will impact your application if you're hiding it and it's already shown on the bank statement which you are submitting. So usually whatever loans you have against an asset, that is like a home loan or a car loan, is generally not an issue. So what happens is you can use a letter of explanation, that is LOE, to explain about your funds, whatever loans you have. So if you just leave it, do not declare it and leave it for the visa officer to interpret it, then it's risky that you are not declaring it and the visa officer came to know through your statement. Adding other loans like educational loans or any personal loans you have taken, if those are reflecting in your statements, do declare them. Definitely do that. Otherwise, it would become very risky for your application. And CICC says on its website, it clearly mentions that you should show all the debts, outstanding debts that you have. So I've seen many people who have not shown it in their application and they've got it approved also. So I won't say that show it or not. Many people did not show and they got caught also, as it was mentioned somewhere in their bank statements. So basically it's a judgment call. So if mentioned in your statement, then do definitely mention about it. Don't hide it. In letter of explanation, explain your debt settlement plan, like how you plan to settle those debt, maybe by selling some assets, or how do you plan? Okay, now one of the main question that people generally ask is that is there a requirement that we need to maintain funds for the last 6 months? So it's nowhere mentioned in law that you have to maintain it. But for a successful application, you should be able to show that you have maintained your funds in your accounts for at least 6 months. So IRCC, they just want to make sure that you suddenly didn't receive a large sum of money from an unidentified source, and they want to be sure that you have a continuous regular income source like a salary or a business from where you are earning money, and legally earned money basically, and regularly earned money. And due to this, now arises the question, what if we don't have a regular source of income? What if I don't have this much money in my account? What can I do if I want to, like, I have 5 lakhs with me, I want to submit into my account, but not a regular income? So it will be shown as a large sum of money deposited into my account. So will this not be an issue? So this would be, but there is a good option, that is gift deed. So what happens is, you can show that your close relatives or friends have given you gift money as a gift out of their love and affection, and they don't want this money back. So there should be a letter also along with that gift deed that they don't want this money back, and this is given to you as a gift out of their love and affection. So gift deed, it should be an official document, a signed document, an affidavit that he is giving you the money as a gift. So one of the other questions that arises is joint accounts, joint funds with your spouse. So funds in joint account with your spouse, or funds in the name of spouse, they are acceptable, provided the condition is that the spouse should be accompanying with the main applicant. Plus, there should be a consent letter from the spouse added to the application, addressed to the IRCC, that this is my account number, this much is the balance in my account, and this is available to my spouse. And joint accounts with spouses are accepted, but joint accounts with any other person, if you are showing, so those are generally not accepted and can be an issue. So the next is provident funds, EPF, pension funds. So in those with the amount deducted by employer, held in a government fund basically, so which are available to you after you leave the job. So this proof is acceptable, provided you provide an official letter along with this from the financial institution who is holding these funds, the EPF, these funds. The institution which is holding this, that institution should provide you a letter that yes, it holds money for you, and those are liquidable, those will be given to you once you leave the job. And if your letter states any conditions, then it could be an issue. So just printing document again from the online account, it's not a good idea. It should be again from the letterhead of that particular financial institution, signed, stamped by them, then it would be readily acceptable. So now what about these life insurance policies, your debentures, shares, bonds, and your bitcoins, cryptocurrency? All these are not acceptable. So you cannot show them as liquidable proof of funds. Fixed deposits, yes, these are acceptable. Use principal value, not maturity value. And if these are very recent, then you'll have to provide the source of funds, like from where did you get this much money to get a fixed deposit. And yes, these proof of funds are not only required at the time of filing your application, but you should maintain these proof of funds till the time until the day you land in Canada and sign your COPR. And one of the most important thing to remember is that CIC, when they check your proof of fund requirements, they assess it on the basis of on that day's exchange rate. So suppose you file your application on 5th of May, and now the CIC is assessing your application, is checking your proof of funds on another date, that is maybe somewhere in July or August. So it will see your funds on the basis of the exchange rate on that particular date, June or July, whatever, and not when you submitted the application on 5th of May. So if there is a fluctuation in the exchange rate, and due to that exchange rate fluctuations, the amount of money you have shown as proof of funds falls short, so that would be an issue. So always do remember, whatever the minimum requirement is, always put some amount extra than that to cover the risk of exchange rate fluctuations. So this covers most of the things in the proof of funds. So now if you have any other questions, any other doubts regarding proof of funds, you can mail to us, or you can contact us on the below number, and we will be happy to help you out, and we will definitely get back to you as soon as possible. And yes, don't forget to subscribe our channel and like the video and share the video with your friends and relatives. Thank you.